TIFU by telling my parents my salary. I, 35, grew up in a low-income household. One parent as a teacher and the other a part-time bank teller. In the rural South, over the past decade or so, we've had a lot of discussion about privilege and injustices in the system. You know, easy conversation. In short, a week ago, they were defending trickle-down economics. Any day now crossed fingers. And I took the position on how $15 per hour for minimum wage should be just that. Minimum. And with that context, I was explaining how I just got to 6 figures as my annual salary and I was super proud of myself BC. I worked my ass off to get to this position. I also know I make above average income and I just recently got away from living paycheck to paycheck. Welp. Since that conversation, my dad keeps making snide remarks. For example, we were grocery shopping and I wanted to make garlic bread and he pointed to the French bread and I grabbed the one that comes pre-made and just pop in the oven. His remark was, "Oh, I forget you can buy things on a whim since you're rich now." Neat thumbs up light skin tone. TLDR. I mentioned my new salary and my dad makes snide remarks. I'm sorry your dad is bitter and can't be proud of you. I'm proud of you op. Congratulations on bettering your standards of living. This is nothing. Wait until they ask you for money and drop the guilt trip on you about supporting the family. Rule number 1 with finance: you're broke, always broke. Trust me, this is how you avoid jealousy and people up your ass asking for money. This could easily just all be about his insecurities. He may be embarrassed he couldn't provide more financially for his family. If there are honest things you can tell him, maybe let him know you see how hard it can be to make a living and you appreciate him doing the best he could with so little coming in while you were growing up. I would encourage you not to help them in any way by giving them money or even hinting you might do that in the future. If you feel you have income you could share, invest it and keep it as your own until they can no longer work. It may benefit you both at that point. It's difficult to understand how dire finances can become in retirement and how hard the decisions can be until you've been through it. Oh yeah, don't ever do that. I am all for salary transparency at work, but never with family. I lie to my in-laws about my salary because they are nosy as hell and don't need to know how much I make. Same with my parents. My family will never know how much I make. It's none of their business and none of them realize just how hard I work to get what I have. My mother would always accuse my elder brother of thinking he was better than us. When he graduated from a top uni and got his grad job making more than both my parents combined, $27K, they took it as proof he was up himself. Then claimed they were being neglected when Lord Fauntleroy stopped coming back for Xmas. I am the mom of 2. My greatest hope in life is for my children to exceed every accomplishment and success I have ever had. I would never be jealous or resentful of my children making more money than I ever did. Fantastic. That's what I have prayed for. The father's attitude is disgusting. You always want a better life for your kids than you had yourself. I've got a kinda similar situation myself, and let me just say, never apologize or feel guilty about what you have accomplished. Nobody ever sees the sacrifices you make and the discipline that got you there. They're like to say things like, "You're so lucky," or, "It must be good to be able to do." They never see the sacrifice and the work you do. That must be super frustrating for you, considering you mentioned how hard you work to earn your salary. However, that being said, I do not support buying pre-made garlic bread. You should be ashamed. My single mother who relied on benefits did the whole Well, if your generation bought less Starbucks. Bit when I saw here a few days ago. Then my granddad agreed with her despite my explaining several times to him how appreciative we were of his help, money, towards our deposit, and how without it we could not have bought a house. My mom is 53. Owns without a mortgage because she bought my dad's parents' house from them for like £40,000 on 1996. Then remortgaged that for IIRC £90,000 when they divorced around 2002. Giving my dad half of that money as part of said divorce. They sold the house in 2014-ish for about £270,000. Bought a smaller house outright. A series of circumstances that you would struggle to replicate now. Also, she smokes, a well-known super cheap habit compared to occasional coffee. I know exactly how you feel. Me and my wife do very well for ourselves and can afford luxuries I never thought possible as a kid. There was a time in my childhood that we were boiling water on a fire to have a hot bath. So now anytime I go on vacation or something, I basically hide it from my family because I don't want them to feel like I am rubbing it in or something. For example, we just purchased a new car recently, and usually we have the family over to our house around the holidays because we have young kids. It's easier to get them down for naps and be able to spend more time with family. Also, big part of that is we have the space in our house for the youngins to run around. But once everyone came over, there were discussion about how tight money was with some of the family. And I know they saw the new car. I had to avoid discussing it and show it to them even though I was excited about it. It sucks. But I know how you feel. If you figure out how to handle that in a healthy way, please let me know, haha. I wish I could say staying humble was the answer, but when you feel like you have to be humble, you rob yourself of the ability to actually be humble. So why are you giving toxic people your time and energy? Garlic bread of all things? That's like what, 50 cents more expensive than buying French bread and garlic butter? Or garlic plus butter separately? Your pops must be rich since he didn't lead you to the yeast and flour aisle. Edit. Also edit number 2 to fix garlic math. At my local Safeway. Pricey area. Garlic bread. $3.69 French bread. $1.99 16 ounces butter. 4 sticks. $5.99 garlic head. 59 cents. The first garlic bread recipe I could find suggests using 1 stick of butter. Oof, that's a lot of butter. 2 cloves of garlic. And some parsley. Let's assume from your garden. Of course I'm gonna use the entire head of garlic. So that saves a whopping -39 cents. Congratulations on getting to making 6 figures. I'm proud of you as well for working hard and get to where you're at. It's a tricky one this, because you can never win. Parents want their kids to be successful. Parents want their kids to be more successful than themselves so they know you'll be okay when they're dead. Men compare themselves to other people by many different types of measurements. Usually these are either misleading, arbitrary and not sensible comparisons. A bigger cock doesn't mean you're a better lover. A higher wage by a younger age doesn't mean you called him a no-good, stupid, lazy redneck failure, but that's what he heard in his head. He'll either get over it or he won't. He'll either be a dick or he won't. It's up to you to not nickel and dime him or do something like buy ice creams or pay for lunch. Totally normal that you've done plenty of times before. Because that's intentionally and publicly showing him up, and no. Offering to pay half of the new aluminium siding for that back roof isn't helping out. It's being all fancy. Yeah, it's a bad one when that happens. I hope it's just a bump. 'Cause you know that you can't use any of all your millions and millions of dollars for anything in their lives without a potential fight. Good luck. Now I'm homesick and want real French bread. Not the takeaway or comment you were hoping for, I'm sure, but real French bread. Yeah, that's a TIFU. I just crossed the 9K per mo take home. No way I'm telling anyone in my fam what I make. I'm the oldest of 9. Growing up we were on food stamps and WIC. Now I just try to be generous. Your dad definitely has some insecurities he's facing. Hopefully over time he'll realize this and stop taking it out on you. You most definitely should be proud of yourself, and hopefully your parents will be able to say how proud of you they are. Fingers crossed your dad stops his pity party by Christmas. Or whatever holidays your family celebrates, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness. Then I hope the pity party stops by the first of the year. Congrats on your success. Your parents shouldn't be jealous, they should be happy. However, don't be shocked when they start asking you for a lot of money.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.